Boys, let's get to it.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Lights, camera, action.
What's up, everybody? Three Amigos and a Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19, Episode 70.
The Tony Gwynn episode for Season 2.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
What are good players with 70s?
70s?
Any good O-linemen you can think of?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah. Maybe like one of the Kelseys.
Kelsey.
Isn't he a O-lineman or something?
Travis Kelce. He's like, what? Isn't he 87? Something like that.
Maybe, yeah, sounds right.
Something like that.
All right. Anyways, how's you guys' week going?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Midterms this week. A lot of homework, a lot of studying, a lot of reading.
Put your mic a little closer to your mouth, yeah.
That's what she said.
Brandon, how about you?
It was good. Went to the San Diego State game with like my brother, Misha, Tama,
Nice.
Brandon, and Nicole. That was pretty fun game. They were down 14-3, I think, at one point, and then they kind of just got themselves together. They basically they played Wyoming, and they just took away the run and forced their quarterback Ryan Agnew, I think his name is, or forced him to make plays to beat him, and made just enough plays to get the W. So walked out with a W there, and I think we were like 5-1. They were 4-1 going into the game. But that was fun. What else did we do? Went to little I think you've met her, Dama's friend Jennifer. She's really thin white girl.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you've met her a couple of times, but
A couple of times.
yeah, but
I'm bad with names.
yeah, she was celebrating her 4-year-old's birthday and stuff, so we went to that before. But outside of that, nothing too crazy. It was just on dog duty, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Very nice.
How about you?
My week was pretty slow. Well, actually, that's a lie. The week's been slow, but the weekend was fun. Sarah came down, surprised me, so we kind of just had a fun weekend, just hanging out and stuff. Went over and saw the pup at Ryan's house.
I was gonna say, and remember that was on the agenda.
Yeah, so that was good. We were gonna go to Disney, or not Disneyland. We were gonna go to SeaWorld. Ended up not going to SeaWorld, but just still got to hang out and spend time with each other. She just got her placement, so probably not gonna see her again for a couple weeks. Maybe even Thanksgiving. So it's gonna be a long stretch. So it was nice to have that time.
Nice, man.
But let's do a quick check-in with our new doggo. How's Jax doing?
Jax is doing pretty well. He's definitely getting acclimated to his environment. First few days he was just very chill and laid back.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yesterday I had off and I was trying to, because a lot of times he'll sleep during the day, and so I was like, oh, perfect, I'll get some homework done. Dude was not sleeping at all. He was like, go, go, go. And I was like, I can't get anything done. But he's been doing really well.
Nice, dude. I know, it seems like he's just getting bigger.
Yeah,
even
he
like
is.
after we saw him on Thursday, and then that following, Saturday, Sunday, whatever we saw him, I was like,
fast,
Well,
man.
that's it. That's what I said when I first saw him. Like, this dog's gonna be huge.
yeah.
Like in no time too. Within a year, he's gonna be
he's
probably
gonna
like
be-
full size.
Yeah, it'd be like 70, 80 pounds, something like that.
He's probably eating a lot too, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to because when they're puppies, you want to feed them 3 to 4 times a day, and then slowly get them back into 2 larger meals.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do that a little bit. He's kind of a picky eater though. He's a weirdo. He'll we mix the soft and the hard food for him, and he picks out all the soft pieces. I'm like, you little turd.
That's the good stuff.
That's how all dogs are, to be
Yeah.
honest.
It's the good stuff. But all right. But when we start off, before we get into sports and stuff, I got to tell you guys about this story and how crazy it is. So there's this this family in Sweden, and I guess the mom had passed away or something like that. So it was the dad, and they had 4 kids. And it was right before 2010 was going to happen. He told all the kids, hey, we got to go down in the cellar. The world's going to end. We got to go stay down there. They stayed down there for 9 years. And like the guy kept like going up and leaving, but he would like make the kids stay down there. The one boy escaped. He was like the second oldest or something. He escaped, went to a bar in town, ordered 4 beers, then told the bartender what happened and they got the cops to come and find them all.
I feel like this is based on like a movie or
Dude,
like
it should be a movie.
When did this news break?
Like this week, like Tuesday.
I feel like we've heard a lot of those type of stories. It's kind of creepy.
That's
It's super creepy. But I just thought it was, I mean, like kind of funny. The guy goes into town, is like, give me 4 beers. And he's like, all right, let me tell you what the fuck's been going on. Like,
well, and he's
first things first.
Yeah,
well, then he's probably also like, all right, you're going to give me my money? And the kid probably is like, I don't have any money because I've been trapped underground for 9 years.
But it got me thinking, like, in an apocalypse scenario, how long do you think you would survive?
I mean, that's so hard to speculate. It just depends on
where you're at.
Also the people that you're with, because you want to be with people that you can trust that aren't going to do stupid shit.
All right, if it happened right now and it's the 3 of us,
We'd be all right.
Yeah,
you think we'd last like a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd like to think we'd last a little longer than that.
I mean, we gotta book it out of here. This podcast getting cut real short. Bring the laptop and maybe the mics will go somewhere.
We'll go somewhere else.
Just keep me out of a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I would like to think that I could last a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I have the smarts for it. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't have any kind of training for it.
No, I mean, like hunting and shit like that.
Yeah, like I don't have any of that. I drive a little car. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
So much of it's like, you know, provisions that you have already lined up and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, where you'd have to have a spot lined up in your head that you need to get to right now.
Sorry, I don't got that.
I don't either, but...
So, I mean...
So maybe we wouldn't be good.
No. Dead. We'd be the first zombies. No, I was kidding. Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden we just hear a crack in the window. We're like, what the...
Oh, that'd be terrible.
You hear some sirens going on outside. Now I'm painting like a creepy, scary picture. Yeah.
Who the fuck's driving the ambulances, Brandon?
No, like, you know, like in the movies when there's like
the zombies.
It's the zombies are
those kind of sirens. Gotcha. Like,
yeah, like the
alert
atomic bomb sirens.
We don't have that here.
I don't know. I just like to.
Where would that come from?
I like to imagine that it.
God's just going to watch out.
They're coming.
You're fucked. No, dude, that'd be terrible. Have you seen Zombieland 2 yet?
I know. I don't think it's even come out yet, has it?
Yeah, like
I haven't seen it.
Thought it just came out like last weekend or something.
That's maybe I'll watch it once it's on DVD. It's not a movie. I mean, to me it doesn't.
The first one was good.
The first one was good. Most comedies, their sequels suck.
Yeah.
Just in general, that's just a rule of thumb. So, you know, out of courtesy, I'll probably watch it on DVD.
I mean, not Shrek 2. Shrek 2 was awesome.
Yeah, but you know, you're pulling a needle out of a haystack.
Shrek 2. I don't know. I like the second Hangover movie.
Yeah, it was all right. It could have been better.
Is there a Long John Silver on the island?
Yeah,
I'll be the judge of that.
There's good lines in it, but it just the plot's just super unoriginal, and that's usually how most of the comedies are. Like,
but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
just make me laugh.
It's somewhat entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not like
I don't need a good storyline. I just want a good laugh.
Yeah.
But all right, well, let's get into it. You guys want to do baseball, football first?
Let's go baseball.
All right. Unfortunately, let's do baseball. No, I'm just kidding.
Dean's really sad right now.
It's not over yet, but
it's not over till the fat lady sings. It's currently 10-1 right now.
Don't speak of your mother that way.
God.
No, it's 6-3 right now in the bottom of the sixth.
I know. I just was having fun with you. Just wanted to scare you into checking your phone real quick, see what the score was.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're on audio, so no one can tell that I'm flipping you off right now.
But now you just said it, so now you're busted.
4
Nationals
games, man.
sweep the Cardinals.
I know this makes all three of us happy. I don't know about you guys. I was pulling for the Nationals, I think.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I think
we're
all of us picked
Yeah.
the Nationals
Yeah.
to win the series. I don't think anybody would have thought it would have been 4 games.
But I also enjoy baseball, so I didn't want it to be a sweep. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, it's
Yeah.
just a long gap. I mean, if the Yankees can somehow pull off this game tonight, or if this series goes 7 games, I mean, it's a long break for the Nationals.
Yeah. But I will say the one thing that surprised me with this, because we even said it last week, it was like whoever's coming out of the ALCS is winning the World Series. But the way the Nationals were able to jump on the ball in those first innings was ridiculous. Like, that's what won them the game. It was like 12, or didn't they score? It was like 7 runs in the last one. Before that, it
And
was
they
like
kinda
4
coasted
and
on
then
that,
12.
yeah.
And it was just like,
I think
come out
the
strong.
biggest thing that's going to happen with this World Series this year is that teams can't sleep on the Nationals late in games. We talked about it last week, how they score more runs after the 7th inning than any other team in baseball.
Yeah.
So it's not just about having good starting pitchers. So, like, unfortunately for the Astros, that matchup doesn't bode well for them, unless your starting pitchers are going 7-8 innings.
mhm.
But I mean, the Nationals, they're scrappy. They know how to get it done. I don't think anybody at the beginning of the year had the Nationals in the playoffs, let alone going to the World Series.
I think
Especially after losing Bryce Harper.
I think you guys saw that number out, or I know I saw it. It was in May. There was like a specific date in May, and the Nationals were just sucking.
They were 18 and 30 something.
Yeah, they were sucking so badly. I think they only had like a 7% chance to represent
Or
the
no,
National
it wasn't
League.
that. It wasn't that far behind, but they were like 10 games under 500, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They only had a 7% chance to make the World Series,
Jesus.
at that point.
So
So,
you're saying there's a chance.
so they came through, and whoever probably put money on that date probably made out like a bandit right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just crazy that how that series went. They end their 50-year drought, longest team to win their first pennant. So that was also a nice thing to see that the Padres didn't hold a
Now
shitty
it's just the
stat like that.
Mariners. The Mariners are the only team in baseball to not make a World Series so far.
Yeah, but this is win the pennant. I guess.
Make it to a World Series. The Mariners.
Yeah,
are the
Mariners,
only team to not
Mariners
make
have
it-
never
yeah.
done it. Mariners have it worse than we do.
Yeah,
I mean,
because we've been there.
I
twice.
always
Yeah.
feel bad for them. They have the record for most wins in a season, but that's pretty much their claim to fame.
Ask Tom Brady how losing that Super Bowl felt.
Yeah.
Jesus. Then we had the ALCS with the Yankees and the Astros. Houston has a 2-1 series lead. Game got rained out yesterday. They're playing today, so now it's going to be like 5 games. The last
Yeah, I was
5
kinda
games in a row.
bummed.
It's
Yeah.
Four
or
straight.
4. Yeah,
I
4.
was kind of bummed. Like yesterday, I was really like, okay, so we'll have baseball today, football and baseball tomorrow, and then nothing. It was just a dud.
Yep. And it's always the worst when it's just a dud. Like, you're just like, what am I going to watch now?
Like, I don't love Thursday night football games, but during this time of the year, when the baseball's still on, basketball's just getting started, you got hockey. It's like there's always something to watch on television. Like, SportsCenter's doable.
Yeah.
God, for the last couple months, like, I feel like SportsCenter's just been, well, I mean, it's been fine. There's a time of the year where like SportsCenter's just basically useless.
I think it's always like kind of around the time when
It's
basketball
February.
and hockey have wrapped up. Football
Yeah.
hasn't started yet, and literally
It's really
baseball's
just baseball.
baseball's the only show on the road at that time, and
And it's like mid-season baseball. That
I
you're just
think
like-
February is probably the worst like SportsCenter time for me. And it's no offense to basketball.
Well,
I don't.
I feel like that's okay because like football just ended.
Football just ended.
But then there's always like those talks and speculations of like people get fired, who's going to fill those positions, like who's
Yeah.
resigning what. So it's like
I
that-
mean, more like that when pitchers start to report to camp right after all that
Yeah.
stuff, because coaches get fired like way before February.
yeah, but SportsCenter is usually pretty good at dragging those conversations on.
Yeah,
for
I just mean
little,
like
you
if
know.
you think about what happens between the season ending and the Super Bowl like finishing, they cover a lot of that then because they need a lot of fillers for the Super Bowl
yeah,
because there's nothing to talk about. Like you overanalyze the game for 2 weeks before it happens, and then pitchers start to report to camp. Basketball's in like mid-season, so I mean, not
Yeah.
a ton of excitement going on there. So then it's like, oh, well, let's start talking about the draft that's in 2 months from now. And it's just one of those like dull times where it's like you definitely see a lot
Yeah.
more fluff pieces.
yeah. That's the part. It's like it's not completely dead, but they're doing stuff that you're like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need this right now.
I
know
just
what
want to
you're
watch
talking
the
about.
highlights.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to watch the highlights.
Yeah. But yeah, in other baseball news, the Angels signed Joe Maddon. I think we all kind of saw this coming. We weren't hopeful for it, but
I mean, he spent 30 years with their organization. I don't think anybody was going to bet against him signing anywhere else. I think as soon as they decided to fire Osmus, it just opened up the doors for Maddon to come.
That was pretty much writing on the wall. I
Osmus
just
have
didn't
a
want it
terrible
to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly like, hey, sorry, man, but the guy that we want is available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And they got him, so good for them. Then the Padres had second interviews with Ron Washington and what's his first name?
Trace Tingler.
Trace Tingler.
He's actually bilingual Spanish too.
Yeah. So
that makes him great for a head coach.
Well, I mean that's good for our players because he might actually be able to connect with them.
Honestly, I know that we're all probably in favor of Ron Washington, but I see this like in two different ways. Baseball is so analytically driven now that all these teams are looking for new blood, somebody that they can kind of control. And so I see Tingler being a guy that might see success earlier on because he's not going to be looking to do things his way.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's like AJ Preller knew him when he was with the Rangers. He's
both of them.
So I don't. But like Tingler still had coach with the Rangers, so it's like he has ties there. That's easy.
And he's got ties with other baseball outside of the United States, which is huge as well. Because that's basically you need somebody that in the locker room that these guys are going to respect. And I think that both of these candidates are going to bring that to the table. I'm okay with either of these hires. I would prefer Ron Washington, but the more that I've read up on Tingle, I'm not overly enthusiastic about talking about tingling for however many years to come, but
I don't want you to
imagine
say that again.
Growing up as a kid, that was your last name, Tingler.
Tingler, I barely know her.
Yeah. No, I agree with you though. I mean, you don't know really. I mean, we can all speculate as to how we think players will react with certain coaches, but honestly, you don't know until they've actually gone out there and you've seen how these players react and respond to their style of coaching.
Yeah.
I just look at Ron Washington though, and I just think that he's a player's coach. He's been there. When he was making it to the World Series with the Rangers were just overmatched every single time. And you can say that they should have won.
They should have won that one Nelson
against the Cardnals.
That one Nelson Cruz misplay in right field. They probably win that World Series.
Yeah, but I'm okay with either of these. I can understand why a lot of these other candidates that we've talked about over the last couple of weeks aren't being really heavily sought out. I know Manny Machado was making a pretty big push to get his old coach. What's his name?
For the Orioles.
I know Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
Showalter. Yeah, I know. Like Manny was making a push. I can understand why the Padres, are kind of back behind their own people that people Preller has worked with before.
Yeah, I mean,
what's so funny over there?
I know. I want to know you're laughing at first.
I was listening to you talk, and then I looked over at the show notes, and the first thing I see is Dolphins are idiots.
Oh, I was sitting there and I was trying to focus on what I was saying. I was like, what the fuck is he laughing about? And now he's smiling.
We'll get there, right? And for the record, they are idiots, but we'll get there. But I just, I understand, obviously I feel the exact same way about these guys as you guys do, and I see the things that Tingler can bring to the team, and I understand the relationship, but it's just sad to kind of hear us talk like this in the sense of we just kind of, it's just what you expect from the Padres at this point in my eyes. You know what I mean? It's they're not really going after, I understand that maybe it doesn't fit the organization, but still it's a big market team isn't going to be we're looking at this guy over here. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest part that we got to remember though is that they're both people that Preller has worked with.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I understand they get the second interview, but at the same time, it is kind of one of those things that you're hey, you didn't want to give Moises Alou an interview, you didn't want to meet with Girardi, you didn't want to, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. Not even just for the public's sake.
I mean, you look at some of these other big market ball clubs. I mean, Aaron Boone didn't really have that great of a track record going in.
He didn't have any track record.
Yeah, and then you look at
I think
Alex Cora.
I think Boone was a response to Cora in my...
But my point is
yeah.
you don't... I mean, really I think we're looking at this. We like to point the blame at managers oftentimes, but it's really more of an organizational thing where you're looking at, like we've all seen Moneyball. We all remember when we always talk about how the first thing I would do is I would talk to the players on how they need to handle things and how they need to be looking at these certain analytics to approach the game, and that's how you could be successful. It's not so. I mean, the X's and O's, obviously, the GM can put the right players in place, and really the manager, like we've said, can just go in there and execute what the GM is telling him to do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with, the last head coach that we had,
Andy Green,
was that you could tell that they clashed. They didn't mesh well because as much
Preller
as
and AJ Green.
as much as
AJ
Preller
Green.
was continuing to set this lineup in one direction.
Yeah,
AJ Green went out there and did something completely.
You did too.
Andy Green went out there and did something completely different. So I'm all right with either of these. I know what you're saying. How it'd be nice to get some other. The other aspect that we got to look at too is the only people that we have would have been Phil Nevin or Mark Loretta. But we don't have that big market feel where you bring a guy in like that and it brings this, sense of.
Yeah, that's how I felt like, Aaron Boone's kind of doing with the Yankees. It was like, oh, this is a name. This is like a household name already.
Absolutely.
And now he's leading the charge. Like, this is a guy that's been there for us on the field. It was the same with Girardi even. Like, it was like,
absolutely.
This was a guy that's been on the field for us, helped us win, and now he's here running the helm.
I just don't see that with any of the other candidates that were out there. I mean, unless it was going to be Dave Roberts, that's the only one that I maybe could have seen. But
and I was fingers crossed he was going to get fired.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, of course, the media and certain people will run wild with this story with going with like a Tingler or no name, but it makes sense from an organizational standpoint. Like we said, Preller and him working together closely, even with Ron Washington. I did like that joke that you made earlier, Brandon.
To hide the cocaine, man.
Yeah.
The coke.
Yeah, I mean, he actually had stepped down from the Rangers. Forcefully stepped down, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
He had a history with cocaine, but he said he's better now and he's in a good space.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, he's better now and he's in a good space to come back to baseball. So, you can go down across the border. Nobody will know.
Jesus Christ.
Been implicated and he hasn't even started yet.
He's going to be down in Hong Kong. And
hey, we're a small market team. You can get away with it.
Jesus. Oh, man. Anyways, let's go into some NFL. Week 6, we discussed some of these matchups. Let's just review them real quick, go through our highlighted games. So we had the Redskins and the Dolphins. It was the battle of the undefeated teams we were talking about. And
defeated teams.
Defeated teams. It came
Bowl.
down to the last play, and that's why the Dolphins are idiots. Like, kick the field goal.
Or are they geniuses? Maybe they're trying to lose that game.
It looked like it.
That's what I'm saying.
I believe Kenyon Drake intentionally dropped that ball. Like, he's coming straight down the line. It's hitting him right in the middle of the chest, and he just, like, volleyball spikes it straight down. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he's on the trade block right now, too, I think.
After
him and everybody else on the fucking roster.
Yeah.
They don't really have many more valuable pieces.
No, you give us a 7th round pick, sure, you can have him.
But it's just like one of those things that's like, dude, just kick the field goal, go into overtime, and then you might be able to pull it out.
You haven't won yet. It's a confidence builder going into next week if you can pull it off. I don't hate it.
And you don't, and it's just...
I don't hate it.
I don't hate the decision.
I hate the execution and how poorly they executed
well,
that.
Yeah, obviously.
No, honestly, that play looked just awful. It looked awful. I'm like... You couldn't draw up a better play than that. Like, that's the best play you could come up with.
Run a QB sneak. That would have been better than that. I would have respected it more.
The thing with going for it, and like last year, I remember who was it? The Titans did it to the Chargers. They came back in that second half, and were 1 point away. They could tie it, or they could go for the win. And everybody's like, oh, well, you have all this momentum. You can tie the game. It's like, yeah, well, you have the momentum. And then they drew up a play that just wasn't good for one last shot.
Yeah.
My whole thing with going for it on 4th down or going for 2 to win a game is that you got to give them your best play. You got to put your guy in the best situation. Whether it's, you're going to put
like a misdirection, a cross,
whatever it is.
Or just get the ball
not
to your
even
best
trying.
player's
That's what I mean.
hands.
Like, don't get too goofy.
Like you're throwing the ball to like Julio Jones, Michael Thomas,
And I'll
like
give
one of
you-
these guys who is going to catch the ball.
And last year, because this is like one of the few football
Or
teams
get
I
the
watched
ball to your
frequently.
stud running back.
When the Chargers beat the Chiefs last year, in that crazy, it was a Thursday night game or Sunday night game, and it was Thursday because we were all doing the podcast. But
Yeah, I still remember Ryan running around the house like his head got chopped off.
we watched it at your house.
But
It was good,
like
yeah.
you run Keenan Allen on a drag route to make sure everybody floods to him, and then you leave somebody else that nobody's thinking about. So it's like you have the plan to execute and you have a backup plan, but don't get too cute with it. If you get too cute, you're gonna lose. This is the NFL. Like, give the ball to your best player, let them win.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the issue that you run into with the Dolphins, they don't really have a best player.
I mean, they have a couple of good skill players, but I feel like they just don't have anybody to get them the ball. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
they're not like studs, but they're decent players.
It was an interesting play, and it made me think just like, why would you if that was your play, why would you just not go to overtime? Like, if that's the play that you're going to run, choose kick the field goal every time.
Honestly, I think
Run a field goal, run a fake field goal.
I think they're
from
just
15 yards out.
They just don't want their fans to be miserable anymore. They're like, all right, well, we'll take it easy on you
Yeah, I
guys.
guess. Then we had the Texans and the Chiefs game, seeing if the Chiefs could bounce back after the Week 5 loss. They could not. Texans pull out that win. This Thursday night game tonight, they had a pretty significant lead.
They're up 21 right now in the sixth.
Yeah, and then Mahomes goes out, so that's going to be tough battle for them moving forward. So see how that goes.
Yeah, man, this Texans ball club, I mean, they're surprising me a lot.
They're good.
They play well defensively. Deshaun Watson is getting rid of the ball sooner. He's getting the ball into his playmakers' hands. They definitely got lucky a couple times in this game, but that's something you need when you're playing against a team like the Chiefs. And also Patrick Mahomes, you saw it. He got hurt in this game, but he's been hobbling around the last few weeks. He's been slowing down, and it's not good.
No, it's not good. It's not going to bode well for the Chiefs either. Then we have the Seahawks and the Browns. Just seeing, if the Browns skid. That sounds gross. If the Browns would continue to suck, and they lose it again to the Seahawks.
Dude, they just totally blew that game, too.
Yeah, it is just a diarrhea game.
Dude, he just blew it so badly. They just couldn't contain themselves.
It's like a night after eating Indian food. No. All right.
There was
Anyway,
just no holding them back.
Yeah, Seahawks, man, they just ran away with it.
Well, they
just sharded.
I think we're seeing the same problem with the Browns every single game is their lack discipline. I mean, that team's so heavily penalized every single game that they I was looking at the game, they were up like 20-3 or something like that at one point, and then they somehow lost the game, and I'm guessing a lot of that was stupid plays on like third down when they needed to make a play. There's like we roughed the passer, or we had a holding call, or hands to the face, any of this like stupid plays or calls, and honestly that derailed that team, and another tough loss for them. It's tough to swallow all these close losses.
Definitely. Then we had the Rams and the 49ers. 49ers, man, it's like each week, I know they really haven't played anybody up to this point.
They played a couple decent teams.
No one that's...
The Rams were a good team.
The Rams were a good team. That's what I mean. I feel like this was their first kind of real test, and I feel that they stood pat.
The Browns, I feel like, are a pretty good team, too. Obviously, their record doesn't show it, but I think they're a good team, and they smoked them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm out on the Browns. I feel like they have the talent, but they can't put it together.
They have.
So
that's a fact right now.
Yeah. So that's what in my eyes makes them a good team or a bad team. It's like, you have all the players, but you're still a bad team.
Yeah.
I
That's just kind of the way I'm looking at it.
I mean, that's why I didn't jump on the bandwagon at the beginning of the years, because you still have to prove it on the field.
Yeah.
And they haven't proven shit on the field.
I jumped on the bandwagon.
They've been... They had that game where they lit up the Ravens. That's pretty much... Like, you got a little taste of it, but other than that, they haven't done really anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know this is a sore subject. The Steelers and the Chargers game on that Sunday night. Dude, I'm sorry I had to put this up there, but the Chargers they look like they're done, dude. I'm sorry to say it, but that game was it just looked so sad. I know that they had some injuries on the offensive line and they had to shuffle some pieces around, but still...
They're getting their left tackle back, right?
It was just...
So,
yeah.
There's still hope. They're only a couple games out right now.
I mean, it helps that the Chiefs lost 2 games in a row.
That does,
That's the biggest thing. I mean, but there's some heavyweight teams out there in the AFC this year. The Bills are still looking promising. It's not good, man. It's not
good, and it's tough because...
Where do I start?
The Steelers on their third-string quarterback, Duck, whatever they call him. Like, he's like a duck whistleblowing champion or whatever the storyline is behind him that everyone knows by now. But still, it was just like you didn't expect him to really come in and have a outing like he did, especially...
They had a good game plan going into it. They were just going to run the ball and then rely on their defense.
This is the thing.
I mean, they let him have...
That's old school Steelers ball, and that's what they're playing.
They let him have a couple good passes in there, though. Like,
a couple.
You know what I mean? It wasn't all run. It was like, hey, man, we know that this is going to be... The read's going to be here, so just look here.
This is the thing. Last year, the Chargers got their ass scraped by the Patriots. And that gave everybody a game plan for them going into this year. It's that we're going to run the ball down your throat until you can show us that you can stop us. And they haven't done anything to solidify that defensive line. And their linebacking crew hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last several years. Losing Derwin James was a huge piece. I don't think that having him in there gives them 2 extra wins back, though. Because
having Melvin Gordon in there changes it, though.
No, I think having Melvin Gordon in there makes it fucking worse.
No, Ingram.
Melvin Ingram, yes. But the thing is that him and Joey Bosa are 2 pass rushers.
Yeah.
And as much as they line up on the line of scrimmage, the interior of that defense, the middle linebackers and the defensive linemen has been lacking. And it's the same reason that week in and week out you see teams running, 5 yards a carry against this defense. Aside from that, the offense has looked lackluster ever since Melvin Gordon came back. Rivers hasn't had any time to throw. Yes, they're going to get Russell Okung coming back this week. Hopefully, that would be a huge, luxury to have.
Huge win.
But
to definitely give Rivers
it just
some
makes
confidence.
me sad because nobody likes the Chargers, man. I mean, 80% of that fan base last week was Steelers fans. They're out there waving their terrible towels. I don't see how, it's terrible morale for a football team.
Yeah, well, so I guess, I don't know what the team song is for the Steelers, but
Renegade by the Sticks.
There you go. Do you hear about that?
Yeah,
like how the Padres rickrolled the Red
Chargers.
Sox when they were here?
Oh, yeah.
It was like they played that.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, but then they swapped it up right before it hit the chorus, and everyone was like, "Oh, you got us." The Chargers tried to do the same thing against the Steelers with Renegade, but the crowd was so loud and so into it, they didn't even hear that part, and they just cut the song. So it just seemed like more of a home game. Mm-hmm. It was even worse. It was just to add to it. But yeah, I mean, I understand. We all know, because we were all fans at one point, of how Rivers gets late in games and how he starts forcing the ball and doing all this other stuff. Some of the balls that he threw, though, in that fourth quarter was just why even have him in here? He's giving you less of a shot by throwing up these moon shots.
You said that last week when you came over, and I still am not blaming any of this on Rivers at all.
They almost had a chance at the end.
No, I know, but it's those last 2 picks that he threw were nowhere near the guy. And I understand he's under pressure and you just get it up there, but at the same time, you got to realize who he has on the field now. I mean, I don't think
he did lose. Yeah,
they've lost
Mike
Dontrell
Williams
Inman
out of the game.
They've lost Travis Benjamin. They've got Patton and another guy, I can't remember their name. And you see it every time they fluctuate through receivers. Years and years of watching this guy, Rivers doesn't put the ball in a place that he's not supposed to, most of those are receivers not finishing their routes.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's just like, just know who's on the field with you, because he's throwing up these balls and these guys are nowhere near that.
I always think,
and it's I don't know. It's hard. Of course, I don't know the wide receiver that much, so it's hard to like be like, well, he didn't run his route when it's like he's 3 yards behind the ball.
I remember
sprinting.
the pick that you're talking about, and like I said, like with a dude that's like, I mean, that ball was like 7 yards in the wrong direction from what it looked like to us. But those situations, like Rivers isn't putting, like, he's not that dumb.
No,
So like,
I don't think he's that dumb. I just think he's that competitive, and he gets that
he's very
upset. Like,
bullheaded.
especially how he ended that game, like basically in that DB's grill, like carrying him off the field. It's like, I know he doesn't cuss or anything, so I'm not saying he's saying anything bad, but still, it's just,
I just don't think you can blame it on Rivers. I think that a lot of it goes into what they're doing offensively. I mean, Melvin Gordon has not done shit in the last 2 weeks, and yet they keep feeding the ball on first and second down to him, where he's getting a yard and a half a carry, and they're kind of taking the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands. Yeah. I think a lot of this goes into Ken Wisenhunt and having the ability to, manufacture a better game plan. I mean, the Steelers' defense, they're not bad. They're young. Like, they're not, like, they're an up and coming defense, but they should not have gotten shut out like they did in the first half of that game.
7 first round picks,
but they're all young.
Yeah, they're all young.
Like,
it's like young.
It's an
talent,
opportunity where a player like Phillip Rivers can take advantage of a situation like that, and they basically took the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like I was just saying earlier, they're getting too cute. They're trying to manufacture the ball into Eckler's hands versus just giving him the ball. Mm-hmm. They're trying to force the ball into Melvin Gordon's hand, and they're forgetting about their best offensive asset, which is Keenan Allen. So I think that, getting their offensive line back and healthy is going to be first and foremost. Obviously, they're not going to have Pouncey back, but, I mean, we'll see how it looks this week against the Titans. Both of these teams are trending down. Tannehill's going to come in, and anytime a quarterback change happens, I mean, sparks can fly. So it's a huge test for both these teams.
Yeah, I agree. Then Monday night, we had the Lions and the Packers. Did you guys watch this game? Did you hear about it all?
Yeah, of course we watched it. We were all talking at the same. We were texting each other.
Oh, were we?
Yeah, me and Brandon had the fucking fantasy match.
That's right. You had the matchup of the century. What was I thinking about?
That game.
But
that was I know it was. There's 3 lead changes in the final 4 minutes of that game in our fantasy matchup.
Yeah, you got fucking referees doing the Lambeau leap after the game.
That was funny. That was the funniest meme, dude. That was hilarious. But yeah, that last call, the non-hands to the face, hands to the face
those
call.
Those were such bad calls, awful calls.
And made worse by the fact that they were doing the Lambeau leap after the game.
Did they really?
Yes.
No, they didn't really. It was a meme. It was like a fake thing.
I thought that was a meme.
They didn't really jump in there. They didn't really do the Lambeau leap.
If they did, I feel like these guys are getting some serious shit.
Yeah,
for that.
Those people they're never reffing again. That was just a fake. That's just like a still that they did. Yeah.
There's no way that's real.
I'll
be shocked. Honestly, I'll be just shocked.
That would be the storyline of the century. But that was just a shit call. It's one of those things
too. Like, not just one, that was several.
It makes you question, like, if this would have happened in a conference championship game, are now hands to the face calls going to be reviewable? Or, you know what I mean? Holding calls going to be reviewable?
I think they're reverting back because I feel like the league in general, they don't want this pass interference to be reviewable.
Yeah.
I think it's really like, okay, well, we're going to say we're going to try it for this year. And if it's successful, we'll do it. But by the way, we're going to dictate whether it's successful or not. So we're going to make sure that it's not successful. So if any of the reviews go up, it has to be such a blatantly bad call, or else we're not going to change the call.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, the coaching percentage has been, like, severely low for those pass interference calls.
They haven't reversed one yet.
I thought it was one.
I thought they'd done one.
They've done one?
I think it's one.
Still,
don't quote me on that, but yeah, like, it's
still one out of, like, I'm sure there's at least like a handful every week.
Well, and like it's just getting to the point where we've talked about it, like, off the podcast, these slow motion plays. It helps when you're talking about, like, if something's a catch, and, like, sometimes whether it's like, did the player make a football move? Those, slow motion things make it look like they did. In fact, they did not.
Yeah.
But with pass interference, it's like, I mean, do you want us to like review a call like where we're seeing both of these guys tugging on each other? Like, no.
Yeah, everything looks like
Yeah.
pass interference or some kind of holding because it's like unintentional holding in every like defensive
breathe
play.
on
Like
each
you
other, and basically they're going to throw the flag.
Well, the
now.
But it's
corners
like
are
if
already
you're-
at such a disadvantage anyways because like they're not supposed to touch them after 5 yards.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things. If you go to push somebody and they like go to hit your arm, you're automatically going to try to grab. Like you're not just going to be like, oh, okay. You're going to like continue to try to hold your hand there. So looks like a hold, but yeah, I don't know. It was just an embarrassing like officiated game, but it was a good fantasy matchup between you two. I'll say that. It was going back and forth, and I was
It was a sucko bowl. We both sucked last week.
Ryan went for 2. No, I'm just kidding. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn.
That was tough.
Low blow.
That was a low blow. You didn't deserve that. But yeah, let's look forward to week 7. We had some big news. Raiders signed Darren Waller to a 3-year extension for $9 million. As Ryan kind of hinted before, the Titans decided to start Ryan Tannehill over Marcus Mariota. How big of an effect do you think this is going to be? Like, first, opinions on this. Good, bad.
Mariota sucks. I mean,
yeah, he does.
God, this is a dude that I was so high on when he came out of the draft, and he started off hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, maybe a new environment can help spark some of that, but right now it just looks like he can't do anything right. I think that the Titans knew that going into the year. Not only, like, they traded for Ryan Tannehill. Like, you don't give up draft picks for a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you gave him $7 million.
It makes me think, did Mariota have like a bad injury?
No, like he's had some injuries. He's never played a full season. I think he's been maxed out like 15 games.
It just seems like something like he had an injury that we don't know about or something.
I honestly, I really don't know. I think that a lot of the times we forget about the competitive balance that some of these teams have and some of these players have. And we saw a lot of it with Alex Smith when he was going through all of his different head coaches and offensive coordinators earlier on in his career. Mm-hmm. And no coach gave him the reins to that team. And I feel like a lot of this goes into what it's not Vilma. What's the head coach's name over there? He's the old linebacker.
For who?
Oh, for the Titans?
Yeah. I can't remember what the head coach's name is, but
I have his image in my head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, you just get so set in your ways of running the ball, and then quick passes down the field, and you take away that creative nature that makes a quarterback great. So maybe he can do it from another team or for another team. I don't know, but I think it's definitely the right decision to go with Tannehill right now. Tannehill's not been a bad quarterback. He had some injuries, and he plays in the freaking division against the Patriots. I mean, I can't say a whole lot of bad things about him.
It was Mike Vrabel we were thinking about.
Yeah.
And he usually beats the Patriots one out of the 2 times he plays them every year.
That was more of a Miami thing, but
still, he was their quarterback.
I know Tannehill had just like a crazy storyline. You know what I mean? It was like a wide receiver that played.
He was a wide receiver up until his senior year in college.
1 year they drafted him as a quarterback, and it was just like.
Yeah, he's got the
like
ability
the hottest
to do
girlfriend.
Yeah. All the quarterbacks do.
I was gonna say that, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, it needed to be said. You can't just let that go by the wayside.
It just has to be said.
Yeah,
that's what he's known for.
Then we had some weird stuff going on with the Chiefs, or at least I thought it was weird.
Or the Rams.
Or with the Rams, yeah. Sorry,
the Rams.
I don't know why I put Chiefs up here, but
it's because everybody thought that the Chiefs were going to trade for Jalen Ramsey, but in fact, the Rams came in the last minute.
But it was just weird that like all these different moves were going on.
So Marcus Peters did not pan out the way that they wanted him to, and that's a fact. It's not to say that Marcus Peters is a bad corner. He's not. I think this is a huge upgrade for the Ravens. Sending him over there. Mm-hmm. Marcus Peters is just a head case. That's all he is.
He is.
I mean, it boils down to that, and it's good for corners to be active.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for them to try to get in receivers' heads, but he gets in his own head too much. So I don't dislike them trading trading Marcus Peters away.
I just thought that with like Talib and Peters are head cases, bringing in Weddle, who's like a veteran guy with good leadership, I thought he could kind of like.
Well, Talib's old, man. Like he's
Level it
not
out.
the same player that he used to be. And obviously, he's hurt for the rest of the year, so
Yeah. Not coming back.
But Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in football right now,
Dude,
hands down, without a doubt.
Hands down.
But
I don't know. I feel like Stephon Gilmore might press him right now, but
no,
Gilmore's been slaying
dude.
it.
You got to remember who that dude plays with, though. Like Gilmore is easily the number 2 cornerback, but Jalen Ramsey is as equally good at manning people up and shutting them down as he is like tackling and scheming.
I'm just talking about this year. Stephon Gilmore's like ranked as the best corner.
Yeah,
in football,
well, Ramsey hasn't played in the last 2 games.
That's true.
But like Ramsey, like statistics aside, is the best corner in football.
Yeah.
But the Rams are giving up their entire future.
Dude,
And they do not have an offensive line that can protect Jared Goff.
like, is there anybody that audits the NFL? Like, there's no way that they have this many first-round draft picks.
No,
Like,
they've traded
that's what
away every first-round draft pick from 2017 to 2021.
It's just like, how long can you do that for? Like, could they just be like, oh, we'll trade in 2030, we'll give
2
you our
years
first.
out. It's
That-
2
it's
years
2
out.
years
It's
out?
2 years out.
Dude, it just seems like they're just like giving them away like candy.
Dude, no, you're absolutely right. I said the same thing when
They paid a lot to get him.
Well, look at everybody that they've like traded for or acquired: Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, Robert Woods.
Aaron
I think
Donald.
he signed that there. Sammy Watkins,
Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. That was the other guy. Like they signed Ndamukong Suh last year. They just signed Aaron Donald. They signed Todd Gurley. God, man, like everybody and their mothers
they
paid
let
on
go
that
of
team.
Sue's on the Bucks now, right?
Yeah, but
but
they're just
last
spending
year
money up the freaking wazoo. Jalen Ramsey's up for a contract. Like, I get that you're new to LA and you're trying to excite the rest of the NFL and bring this, power back into Los Angeles, but it ain't gonna be that way if you're spending all your first round draft picks.
I mean, I'm not gonna fault a team for going all in when they think they got a chance. They were just in a Super Bowl last year. It just hasn't looked good so far.
Yeah,
The biggest pressing need is offensive line. I mean,
That's true. No, yeah,
Marcus Peters was.
spend it in a better area.
I mean, maybe if it's a morale issue and you're trying to get him off your roster,
They should have picked up Trent Williams from the Redskins.
Dude, there's a lot of questionable things, and I think that short term, yes, the Rams will be fine, but I mean, Todd Gurley is not looking like himself.
Mm-mm.
I mean, who knows how long he's going to be able to play for? And then Jared Goff has been okay. I mean,
It's been startable.
He's like one of those guys. If he's got good protection, he'll look great, and if he doesn't, he's gonna look like shit.
So all I'm saying is that they better hit on every offensive line in that later rounds of their draft pick if they want to continue to be successful. That's literally it. It's like you better have a damn good scouting department.
I feel like they're just banking on free agency too much and trades. Like there's certain ways you can build a team, and I'm guessing they just don't value the draft like other teams do.
Yeah,
and it's tough to say. I mean, the people are trying to be like the New England Patriots, but you got to look at the players that they have acquired in free agency, and then look at the players that they've drafted and developed.
That's the thing. It's the development of the players that they have.
They just timing wise, they just know exactly when to unload a guy and not pick him up, and which ones to pick
Rex
up.
Burkhead. He's worthless to the Bengals. We see value in this guy because he's really good for 3 yards. And that's all they use him for. 3-yard situations, 3rd and 3.
Everyone's got a specialized role except for maybe a small handful of guys who are
the year they traded
studs.
Dante Hightower and Ben Jarvis Mingo. I think Hightower's back on their team now.
Dang, I forgot about that, dude.
They value certain aspects of the draft, but they also see where they can maneuver it and gain more picks.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see how it goes. Like you said, I mean, it's just gonna. Jalen Ramsey elevates a defense just by being on the field.
He absolutely does. My only hiccup with it, though, is that they had the year that they went to the AFC Championship game, and then last year that defense was the same, and they were terrible. I mean, the Jaguars' defense wasn't completely to blame, but 2 first-round picks, man, and I know that the asking price was high, and the Jaguars did not want to trade him, but it's like fuck,
yeah.
like that, and a 4th. two first and a fourth.
That's belief in your team though too, because you're like, well, these will be high first rounders.
No,
So,
definitely.
You know what I mean? Like that's their thing. They're like,
low first round picks.
I mean,
Like the Rams picks will be lower first round.
yeah. Sorry, I meant like late in the draft.
Yeah.
High numbered first round.
Yes.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying. You understand. But yeah, week 7. Let's do our little highlight game preview. First game on the docket, we had the Texans and the Colts. I mean, the Colts have been rolling lately. I know it obviously at the start of the season with the Andrew Luck drama, then Jacoby Brissett steps in. I don't know. I know Jacoby Brissett isn't a terrible quarterback. Ryan, I know you were like, he's going to step right in without a hiccup. I didn't see it that way, but you were right, and they've been rolling ever since. So.
Yeah, man, and like their record would look a lot better right now too if Vinatieri didn't have the worst game of his life against the Chargers. I mean, Jacoby Brissett doing exactly what they want. The Colts are doing everything right.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, the best team in the NFL, but their players are not making mistakes. They have the best offensive line, hands down. Their running backs are doing the job. They're manufacturing wins, and their defense is holding up their end. I like the Colts in this matchup at home against the Texans. I think that their defense can get after Deshaun Watson and make him make a few mistakes.
And on the other side, their O-line's going to hold off.
But that's the thing is I think that the Colts will be able to control the game clock a lot more in this. It's just going to come down to, getting touchdowns instead of field goals. If you can keep, Deshaun Watson, 2 scores away, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Next game up, we had the 49ers and the Redskins. Just wanted to highlight this one because it looks like the 49ers are going to continue their streak, their, undefeated streak. So
they're so well disciplined. They just run the ball like there's no tomorrow, and they rely on their defense.
Defense looks good.
Yeah, they just look really good altogether.
Nick Bosa, man.
Yep. Then we had the Chargers and the Titans. Wanted to highlight this game just because, the somewhat bad outing the Chargers had last Sunday night, and the Titans having to change at the helm with Tannehill. We'll see how that one goes.
I'm actually picking the Titans in this game. I think that Derrick Henry is just going to have a field day against this, defensive line. And I know.
Please, fantasy gods, do this for me.
I just don't see the Chargers in 1 week figuring out how to go from stopping James Conner to Derrick Henry, a guy that runs harder.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, it's a good matchup for sure, but I think that the Titans will be able to control the game clock a little bit, and the Chargers haven't been able to do anything on third down this year.
I mean, maybe they've had another week to just focus on just stopping the run. I feel like the Titans, you just stack the box on them and force their quarterback to beat you man-to-man on the outside, and you'll probably do fine against them.
Decent chance.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Then we had the Saints and the Bears. Highlighting this one because Drew Brees may make his
not this week.
Or
next week.
Oh, next week. Oh, it's next week.
Possibly next week. He just started like
grabbing balls,
grabbing actual football, NFL footballs.
It's the another one of those things where I hate to say I told you so, but Teddy Bridgewater, undefeated.
He's just freaking stud. I know I was wrong on that. I thought they would.
That's why I'm the NFL guy.
I thought they would have probably split, maybe optimistically,
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I definitely didn't think you'd be undefeated at this point. Still, I thought there'd be some growing pains.
I still like the Bears in this game, to be honest. With the Saints without Alvin Kamara, it's a big player for him.
Yeah,
well, is Kamara out officially?
If Kamara's officially, they're saying it's like a sprain though. So I mean, they'd be kind of stupid to start him. To be honest, it's not like this is a make or break game for them.
This game in Chicago, I'm picking the Bears. I think their defense is going to be able to do enough, and I also think Chase Daniel will be able to do enough to get the game won.
Better than Trubisky.
Yeah, no, I agree. Then we had the Ravens and the Seahawks. Just want to highlight this game just because, I think this is going to be the game of the week.
I think this will be the highest scoring game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of maybe the Rams-Falcons might be pretty high.
I think this game going into Seattle, Lamar Jackson's going to struggle to be able to get his playmakers the ball. He's going to rely heavily on his feet like he saw last week as well. I like the Seahawks in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Seahawks in this game. I definitely agree that it's going to be a high-scoring game. We'll see how talented Lamar Jackson really is because he's going to have to make some plays. It gets loud in there, too. He is a young quarterback, so we'll see how he handles that kind of pressure. And, I mean, Russell Wilson, man.
We just need to ask him about his knees again. How are your knees feeling?
Oh, yeah. I'm good.
Good.
But yeah, so that's week 7 in the NFL. Any other games we wanted to highlight?
Oh, looks pretty good to me.
All right. We had our teams that stayed defeated, the Dolphins and the Bengals. I gotta say, I think both of these teams are losing again this week.
I mean, it's really hard to you're basically taking a shot in the dark when you predict that they're going to win. It's whenever the other team doesn't come prepared to play.
I'm going to take the Dolphins over the Bills this week.
No way.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Ryan Fitzmagic's coming back, and it's a setup game. I mean, everybody's high on the Bills right now. They're supposed to win this game. It's a division rivalry. If I had to pick a week that they're going to pull it out, I'm going to pick this week.
Is this you sending positive vibes?
Dude,
James has the Bills
Bills were
defense?
my pick of the week this week. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to give it to – I don't think either of them are going to win it. You know, Bengals going against Jacksonville. Don't think they're going to have I think they're going to have another shit game there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like the Bengals are more likely to get off what is the phrase? The Stein or whatever the phrase is. But
yeah,
I think the Bengals will probably be the first one to win out of those two.
Yeah, and then the undefeated teams, the Patriots and the 49ers. I mean, if a team's going to lose this week, I think it would be the Patriots Monday night at home against the Jets. I don't think that
Jets are at home.
On the
road against
on the road against the Jets. Just because, I mean, 49ers are rolling.
And they're playing the Redskins this week.
The Redskins have no idea what they're doing. It's no one's driving that ship
I still
anymore.
like both of them to win again.
I do too.
Week.
I agree though. If any team's gonna win, it's the Jets over the Patriots. A division game again Monday night.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's back. It looks better of a matchup than the 49ers losing to the Redskins.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, lock of the week. So last week had our first loss. I had to go with the Chiefs against the.
You picked the Chiefs against the Texans as your lock?
Dude, I thought the Chiefs were going to edge them out. They were just going to be able to outshoot them.
That was like the worst week to use the Chiefs.
Dude, I had to make a last-second pick.
You didn't ask us? You didn't want to consult with us?
I would have never picked
it was too late.
That one to me was a coin flip.
Because I can't even look at like the matchups last week. But everyone that had a good matchup, we had already picked. So it was like, I was like, if anything,
you didn't use the Patriots yet?
No, it was too late because they played on Thursday night.
Oh, that's right.
And we didn't get them in. But this week, week 7, who is our pick of the week? So we can't pick the Chiefs, Chargers, Ravens, Seahawks, Eagles, or the Cowboys.
Can you tell us who we can't? No.
I thought it was easier to say who we can't pick because that's.
I know. I'm just
6 teams.
I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, that's why I thought the Bills over the Dolphins was a good look. I could also see the Rams over the Falcons.
I definitely like the Rams over the Falcons.
I was going to pick the Rams over the Falcons.
The Bills over the Dolphins.
The Falcons have to turn it around at some point. Like that's the only reason why I'm not like.
Yeah,
they're just too good of a team to be 1-5.
But the Rams have also lost like 3 straight, and I don't see them losing 4 in a row.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are tough matchups, man. Like you got the Vikings and the Lions. You could go Packers over Raiders if you want to. But I don't love that matchup either because they don't have any receivers.
I wouldn't be opposed to Jaguars over Bengals either.
We still have the 49ers too. We could go 49ers over Redskins.
That's like a shoe-in, yeah.
I would go with that one.
Might as well just use up some of these.
Because the matchups aren't going to be getting easier.
No, they're already not.
Well, you're already eliminated, right? This is a Survivor League, right?
No, it's one mulligan.
Oh, so you mess up again. You're toast.
I'm dunzos.
How many people are still left?
I have no idea.
Is this like a thing you're doing at work or?
No, so Nigel, my old neighbor, invited me. It's like this guy that he knows from.
He's like a bookie.
No, it wasn't even like a bookie. It was like an old friend.
I don't know.
No, it was just like an old friend that some guy that lives in like Iowa or something like that like makes cheese, and they have like this giant.
Yeah.
I don't even know. There's a bunch of people in this league though. But let's see, how many people are in this league? Or in this little pick'em? Too many to count, dude.
I don't know. Dean's the biggest gambling addict out of anyone here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a bookie.
Do I have a bookie?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
I
do.
I know a bookie. I know one, but I don't go through him. The place I work now, man, a lot of degenerates.
Uh-huh.
A lot of like sales guy degenerates, you know. So yeah, they're definitely like, oh yeah, if you like making picks, I can get you some. No, I don't want to.
Whatever your pleasure is, I can facilitate.
Well, it's more or less like I want to keep it on the low. I don't want to have to pay up to anybody. You know, let me put it forward and go from there.
Pay it forward.
Like I put my money up into the pool and then I either lose it or win it. I don't want to have to
give it back. Just return the favor.
Shore up with somebody. Anyways, Brandon, you got our stat of the day. What do you got for us?
Stat of the day, stat of the day, dabba-dooba-doo, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day. Bop.
Well, it's in light of baseball and a local stud, Steven Strasburg. You guys might have seen this stat, I'm not sure, but obviously since postseason baseball is,
I know it.
You already know what it is, I'm sure. But Steven Strasburg, through his 6 starts in the postseason, has posted a 1.1 ERA, which is also the 3rd lowest in postseason history. With obviously
you gotta say 3rd best.
3rd lowest, 3rd whatever. You know what I mean. 3rd lowest,
yeah,
3rd
but our
best.
listeners.
Say it
3rd
again.
best.
Say it again.
No, it's too wordy.
What was the number?
1.1.
He had a 1.1 ERA across 6 starts, which is the 3rd best ERA in postseason history.
Dang.
Behind Sandy Koufax, who's also a stud, who has like a 1.95, and Christy Mathewson, who had a 1.06.
Jesus.
So we're looking at this future Padre who's going to be leading us to a World Series win in 2021. Question mark?
I mean, if he's gonna come, might as well be next year, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Well, once we trade Renfroe for Mookie Betts and then sign Strasburg.
There you go.
And then trade everyone else.
You're telling me though that like Renfroe, Patino, and like Lauer, you wouldn't do that for Mookie for 1 year?
It's not worth it, man.
Edwards, Patino, and Renfroe.
I don't want to unload Patino. Patino's a stud.
That's your hang-up. Huh?
That's my hang-up.
Morahan.
Otherwise, I'm like, okay, I'll trade Renfroe, Morahan, and some of these other guys, but I think Patino could be like a stud pitcher.
Yeah, well, you said the same thing about Hedges being a stud catcher, so...
No, he's different, though. This is like he's going to be Chris Paddock good.
So this is the thing, though. This is the only reason that I'm okay with dealing Patino, is that... Let's just say the Padres do go out and sign a Steven Strasburg. So we'd have Steven Strasburg, Chris Paddock, Mackenzie Gore, Garrett Richards, and then
Garrett Richards. I really don't think Garrett Richards is going to be a part of this team's long-term plans. I think he's just
he's at least there next year.
No, I know he will be there next year, but I'm saying like I don't view him. I think he's a guy they just took a shot in the dark on, and they're like, well, hopefully he pans out.
Okay, but we're talking about 1 year.
Yeah. So
it'd be Strasburg in your perfect situation. Yeah. Strasburg, Paddock, Gore, Richards, and then you throw Lucchesi in there or Lauer or whoever the hell else you want to do.
Probably Lucchesi at this
That's
point.
The only reason that I'm okay with giving up Patino.
Yeah. You just want to have depth, though. I mean, just the more depth you can have, the more successful your team's going to be.
Oh, for sure. But... This is all hypothetically speaking because I don't think Mookie Betts is coming to San Diego. But like I was telling you guys, it makes sense that the Red Sox would want to dip into our deep prospect pool in order to get Mookie
'Cause
Betts,
they've been-
who said that he is going to free agency.
Well, he's also, I mean, they've also gutted their farm system a little bit too, trading away a lot of pieces to get stud pitchers. I think Kimbrel was a bad move for them. I mean, he got him Super Bowl or World Series, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it just didn't seem like a lot of these moves have totally panned out. They're gonna have to re-up on JD Martinez. I think is a free agent pretty soon, isn't he?
Yeah, no,
No,
that's
they
five
have a
years.
couple guys they're coming up on that they're gonna have to start paying them money.
Oh, their center fielder,
Jackie Bradley.
Jackie
No.
Bradley, but they've already talked about trading him too.
Yeah, and then there's guys they're gonna have to start paying. Xander Bogaerts. I don't know. They locked
The
him
other
up
left
yet?
fielder that they have, Benintendi,
Yeah,
he's controlled for a while. But yeah, the only reason I bring it up is that eventually we're gonna have to start saying goodbye to some of these prospects.
no, and I'm good with it, but you want to have. I don't know. To me, I like to have the core pieces already lined up and be like, okay, if we add this piece, I think we're good.
So
And I don't think we're there yet.
who are your top 5 prospects right now?
Well, Patino's one of them. Gore. I don't know. I haven't looked at the prospect list recently, but
Abrams.
Abrams looks good. C.J. Abrams. Xavier Edwards looks good. I mean, Urias is technically, I think, still a prospect because he hasn't logged enough, but I still am a believer in Urias. I think he can get his shit together. Yeah, I can't think of off the top of my head, but Patino is literally like, when I think of top prospects, it's like Gore and Patino are the top 2 that come to mind.
You're missing the biggest one out of all of them. That would be Mr. Taylor Trammell.
He looks good too.
I mean, obviously Gore is number 1, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he's also a trade asset for me too.
Ryan Weathers is.
Ryan Weathers not even top 100 anymore.
Yeah.
He's fallen out of it.
He's young. He might make a.
Well, I mean,
Push.
yeah, some of these other guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're all. You got to remember, these are all young players. It took like the Astros players a couple of years to get their shit together before they started clicking too.
Lauer, Edwards, Renfroe.
I would do that, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not like.
So it's basically just Patino was the only. hiccup.
I'm really high on Patino. I just think
I was trying to figure out what it would take. So anybody but Patino.
Well, and Gore. I'm not.
Well, yeah, he's already been
Yeah.
on my like lock list.
Yeah, Gore. Patino's on that lock list for me, where he's like, I mean, unless there's just like if there's a way you can get Strasburg for like 2-3 years, and you're giving up Patino, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But that scenario is never going to present itself. So
Yeah.
just be real.
I would love to see him wearing, the Padre colors.
Mookie Betts or Strasburg,
Both.
or both,
Both would
That
be
brown
incredible.
and gold.
and
Yeah.
Garrett Cole. We'll just throw him in there too, and then
That dude's gonna get paid.
Yeah, especially
both of them are. I was gonna
Both these
say,
dudes are going to be pushing $300 million.
I don't know
their
about that.
outings.
They'll probably get like a $200 million across like
5
years or something like
yeah.
that.
Same, like higher average.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
Jesus Christ.
worth it, man. I mean, Jesus, they've been showing out these playoffs. But anyways, everybody, we are the Three Amigos and a podcast. Keep listening to us and tell somebody about us. Give us a review or something like that. And we'll be back next week. See ya.
Later.